What's up, everybody? I don't know if you guys heard, but the Division released information on Update 1.5 as well as a public test server that people on PC can play. And if you have the Seasons Pass, you can actually play the new expansion Survival, which was also announced today. So it's really awesome. I was playing it earlier today, and I actually got to play it when I went to the Elite Task Force in Sweden when Massive flew me out. I just wasn't allowed to talk about it. I was under a strict NDA, and it has now been, my NDA on the Survival has been removed, so I can talk about it all I want, and it's awesome. Loving it, but we'll get into that at another time. This is going to be a video focused on the 1.5 patch notes. These are what we have so far. They're subject to change. There's going to be more of them, I'm sure, more detailed patch notes, but so far, this is what we got. Big change is World Tier 5 bracket. You guys haven't seen the World Tiers. What they do is they allow you to set the entire world gear score or NPC's level, difficulty level for everything in the game. Whether it's the Dark Zone or open world stuff, they've added it to Tier 5 now. So it's going to be for 230 gear score players, and the NPCs will be level 34s. The new gear score that they drop will be 256, and heroic incursions will only be available in Tier 5. Some really cool stuff here. Named gear items have been implemented in the game. There's a piece available for each gear slot, and each one comes with a unique talent. It can only be dropped in World Tier 5 or in Survival Game Mode. I found a pair of knee pads in a cache that I got from Survival, and they were pretty cool. But the new pieces are, the mask is called Pharaoh's Oxygen Mask. Players can move and shoot while under burn status effect. That's pretty cool, and definitely renders the most powerful thing of being on fire useless if you can now shoot and move. So that'll be really cool to see how people put that into their builds. Knee pads, these are what I found. Short bow championship pads. Grenades have a shortened fuse timer. The ones I found were 0.2 seconds, and they were the max gear score, so that's a fifth of a second, and that's really quick. So you throw a grenade, it's going to blow up almost instantly. There's not going to be time for someone to run away from that grenade. Really cool pair of knee pads. Holster, Colonel Bliss's holster. Says powerful improvements for sidearms. I'm not sure how powerful, but that's cool. Haven't found a pair of those, so I'm interested in seeing what they actually improve. Gloves. Now, these are really cool. Skulls MC gloves. Increase damage when no gear set bonuses are active. Really awesome. So you're going to get bonus damage if you're not wearing sets. Now, one of the things when I was at Elite Task Force was that I expressed a concern with was how bad the high-end gear was. For the most part, there's only a couple pieces of high-end gear that's ever worth using, and I told them that I would like to see high-end gear comparable with set gear. And this was actually a bonus that I had talked about, was giving us a bonus to whatever it is, some sort of bonus that when you don't wear sets. So this is really cool. I'm really glad to see this one implemented here. Chest piece, Barrett's bulletproof. Powerful bonuses when skills are on cooldown, which is really nice. With the new changes in 1.4 came a lot of changes to your cooldowns, and skills are on cooldowns all the time. So when skills are on cooldown, you're going to get some bonuses. I don't know what those bonuses are exactly. I'd like to find some more information on that, which I don't have currently. Haven't found those yet. And the backpack, Ninja Bike Messenger Bag. So less DZ loot and DZ experience lost when dying in the Dark Zone, which what means when you die, there's a public and private drop. Some of the stuff the people can take from you, and some of it they can't. Now, when you wear this backpack, there's going to be more private items. So you're going to lose less, and you'll lose less experience as well. Pretty cool. Here's a huge one. Enemy armor damage now functions in PvP. Huge change. Damage calculation in PvP ignores a percentage of the target's armor equal to 1/3 of the shooter's enemy armor damage. So that is really cool. Now, enemy armor damage is going to have a big effect in PvP. It's already such a great stat in PvE. It is now going to I'd say, become the best stat in the game. Enemy armor damage is going to be the most important thing to have as far as a damage modifier everywhere. So that's really cool. Enemy armor damage is now a major bonus instead of a minor bonus. And because it now applies to PvP, it's going to cause a situation where you got to decide between increasing your armor or your enemy armor damage. Because all these slots that you normally would choose armor, if you don't choose enemy armor damage, then you're missing out on a lot of potential damage. So this will be interesting how people balance this out, going super glass cannon or super tank or whatnot. That'll be pretty cool. It can now roll on backpacks, masks, knee pads, holsters, and gear mods. The roll values have been lowered to compensate for the fact that it can roll on more items now. Rolls on existing knee pads are also going to be scaled to appropriate values. So basically they're going to be nerfed on your old knee pads. And enemy armor damage will still be considered a minor bonus on existing knee pads. So they won't show as a major, which means you can roll armor on your old knee pads and have armor with enemy armor damage. So having 229 knee pads might be really good. We'll see how that works. That'll be interesting to see what they do about that. Enemy armor damage will be removed from existing masks and replaced with another minor bonus. So where it looks like our minor, because right now enemy armor damage is a minor, it looks like it's going to be removed from masks. You'll get a random minor bonus, and then you could maybe re-roll masks to it, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. So stagger now functions in PvP as far as with your stagger weapons, not explosions. They nerfed explosive bullets staggering, but high stagger weapons such as shotguns and marksman rifles will cause the target's aim to flinch. That's pretty cool. I've always wanted that to work a little bit more in PvP with the shotguns and the marksman rifle. That's real nice. NPCs now have a chance to drop crafting materials. Chances to drop the higher quality increases with world tiers. Seasons Pass open world supply drops will now scale with world tier. And let's see here. Items in the scavenger crate in the base of operations will also now scale with world tier. Vendors will also scale to players' gear score independently from the world tier they're in. So what that means is that gear score and the currency value of goods that they sell will adapt to the player's gear score rather than just your world tier. They've adjusted credits and Phoenix credit rewards for main missions, high-value targets, and incursions to better scale with the world tiers as well. It says it results in an increase starting from world tier 4 and above. Weapon changes. Here we go. All weapon types. Hipfire now has stronger recoil than aiming down sights. The strength of the effect varies between weapon types. From the most impacted to the least impacted. Marksman rifles, LMGs, assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns, and pistols. So, hip-firing your marksman rifle is going to have a lot more recoil. Hip-firing your LMGs will also have a lot more recoil. Now, hip-firing your pistols will have some, but not as much, compared to the change in marksman rifles and LMGs. So that's a pretty good change, I think. I think hip-fire in PvP is a little bit overused and abused, and pretty lame if you ask me. But that should help put some constraints on that. SMG, the Vector 45, and basically all the vectors, base magazine size has been increased to 25. That's really cool. So instead of having a 20-round mag, it's now a 25-round mag. So when you throw an extended mag, it's going to be like the AUG and have 50 or above magazine size. Nice change to the Vector. The MP7 is getting its base damage increased by 16%. Keep in mind that the MP7 in 1.4 was nerfed extremely hard. It was nerfed by like 27 or something percent. So it was over nerfed. It was basically just a wet noodle gun. It went from being, I'd say, the best submachine gun to the worst submachine gun. And they're now realizing this, and it is being increased by 16% from the old nerf. The M60's base damage is reduced by 3%, and the M60 and M249 now take longer to reach full accuracy when fired. If you guys don't know, LMGs are opposite of all the other guns, where they actually reach full accuracy the longer you fire, they get a better accuracy. So now it takes a little bit longer to reach full accuracy. The Hungry Hog's base damage was reduced by 13% to prevent a scaling overlap with the implementation of World Tier 5. I know that kind of sucks for a lot of people because the Hungry Hog used to be actually more damage than the M60. Hungry Hog is an M60, and it was the highest base damage gun in the game, basically, was as far as LMGs go. Shotguns, a lot of nerfs here, which is good. Shotguns needed it. Lowered the strength of aim assist for shotguns. Thank God. I don't play on console, but man, I've seen some nasty, horrible experiences on console with shotguns and their auto snap aim. You could also plug in a controller on PC and do the same thing, which was really lame. It lowered the effect of accuracy on shotguns, so your groupings are going to be a little bit spread out more compared to than before if you had accurate or accuracy mods on your shotguns. The headshot base bonus damage has been reduced from 80% to 60% on shotguns. The showstopper accuracy while in cover has been reduced. And the M870 has had its base damage reduced by 12%. This should help a bit in PvP where everyone just runs around auto-snapping to people's heads and one-shotting or two-shotting them. I know that's been pretty lame for a lot of people, especially on console with that. Added 12 new weapon types. This is awesome. The MG5 light machine gun. I've heard it's really good, the MG5, as well as the infantry MG5. The FAMAS assault rifle. This is cool. I'm wondering if it's going to be burst fire or fully automatic. Haven't found one yet. And I haven't had a chance to really research into these before making this video. I finished my stream and figured I'd just make this right away. So we'll find some more information about these, and maybe I'll update some videos as we get more info. Maybe some videos on these guns when I find them. The M700 marksman rifle. Model 700 marksman rifle, the tactical and the carbon. Haven't found one of these. Someone told me today in chat that you have to load each bullet. It doesn't have a magazine. I don't know if this is true, but that would be weird. Hopefully that's not true, and if it is, it better have some major damage. The converted USC submachine gun. I think that's like a UMP, maybe the civilian version of the UMP, something like that. I'm pretty sure the USC is a UMP. And they also have the police UMP and tactical UMP 45 submachine gun. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad to see the UMP. Let's see, USC. Let's see here. USC submachine gun. Yep, it is like a UMP. Okay, so it's very similar to a UMP. It is this. Yeah, I was right. It's the civilian carbine version of a UMP 45. So that'll be in the game. What else? Snub-nose Rhino pistol, and Rhino special pistol. That's going to be interesting. Hopefully it's not as bad as their old revolver. I'm assuming the Rhino's a revolver. I think it is. Added 4 new high-end named weapons. The Golden Rhino, the Urban MDR Assault Rifle. If you guys didn't know, the battle rifle that was unveiled a long time ago that still isn't in the game, and still not announced in the game, is actually the MDR, Desert Tech MDR, a really badass rifle, and it looks like they're going to be adding it as far as a named weapon. I'm assuming they'll add it as a weapon type as well. It seems weird that it wouldn't be. The Tommy gun and a Thompson. The Tommy gun is a Thompson, but it's probably going to just be a more gangster version of it, is my guess. It'll probably have the drum magazine, and the Thompson will probably not have the drum magazine, is my guess on that as well. I don't know because I haven't found them. I can't wait till I do. Gear sets. So, final measure change, 4 pieces. Grenades can now be picked up every 8 seconds instead of 15 seconds. I'm not going to really go over the final measure set changes from 1.4, but if you're not familiar, all of the sets pretty much got changed, and some of them drastically. But a nice little buff to the final measure set there. Hunter's Faith, 3-piece. Headshot bonus reduced from 20% to 10%. That's kind of a bummer, but it puts it alongside Sentries. Sentries was also only 10%, but Hunter's Faith was 20%, so it seemed kind of pointless to ever use a 3-piece Sentries versus a 3-piece Hunter's Faith. So that got a nerf there. Frontline Set has been added. It's cool. I found a piece of that, but don't have the full set. 2 pieces gives you 15% protection from elites, and as far as I know, protection from elites is still capped out at, I believe, 20%. So that almost puts you at cap from protection from elites. Gives you plus 30% ballistic shield health, and the cool part about this set is it allows an SMG to be used when ballistic shield is deployed. The only downside of that is your SMG crit chance is reduced to 0%. You can no longer crit with your SMG. So if you're doing this, you don't want crit damage or crit chance because it's not going to do anything. You're going to want other stats. But this seems pretty cool. A nice tank build with an SMG. Interesting. We'll see how that works out. Definitely interested in seeing that. Using some gameplay. Skill changes. Pulse. Okay, all mods except the recon pack. It gets decreased lifetime by 20%, from 25 seconds to 20 seconds. That's kind of a bummer, so they're nerfing the length pulses out. Recon pack. Increased lifetime by 14%, from 17.5 to 20 seconds. So basically that puts it in line with the others. Now, decreased cooldown by 25%, from 60 seconds to 45 seconds. That's pretty cool for the recon. Gets a much better cooldown by 15 seconds base. Tactical scanner. Increased cooldown by 10%, from 60 seconds to 66 seconds. That's kind of a bummer. I already feel like Pulse and a lot of these skills have way too high of cooldowns currently in the 1.4 implementation. But I guess they're really trying to stray us away from using our skills as much as we are used to using them. Which just seems kind of weird. It's conflicting issues in my head, where they have like a bullet spongy type RPG game with skills, but they kind of don't want us to use our skills. It's just a little weird. So I don't necessarily agree with some of the changes that they're doing with 1.4 and 1.5, but we'll see how it all works out in the end. What else do we have here? First aid changes. Defibrillator. This is the one that revives dead people. Increase ally heal by 10%, from 1,500 to 1,650. Not very cool, but okay. Overdose. Decreased self-heal by 10%, from 1,500 to 1,350 base. Increase the cooldown by 10%, from 60 seconds to 66 seconds. That's also pretty lame. I feel the cooldowns on some of these skills are just so insanely high now. And a lot of these skills don't even start their cooldowns until they wear off. Which is pretty lame. For a lot of things. Don't really agree with some of those changes, but we'll see how that goes. Support station, all mods except immunizer. Increase lifetime by 10%, from 20 seconds to 22 seconds. So they last 2 seconds longer base. Okay. Sticky bomb, base, skill, and proximity fuse. Decrease the cooldown by 10%, from 90 seconds to 81 seconds. BFB was decreased by 4.8 seconds, from 105 seconds to 100 seconds. Now, Seeker Mine Cluster, they decreased the bleed effect duration by 25%, from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. The total bleed damage has been unchanged. You just no longer suffer the bleed as long. So it's actually going to be doing more damage per second. Just doesn't last as long. Ballistic Shield, the base skill, and all mods. NPCs will deal 10% more damage to the shield. Interesting. Smart Cover, all mods except Trapper. Decrease skill power impact on damage resistance. That's kind of lame, because I used to use a Smart Cover build, and when I went into 1.4, it was so useless. And the skill power that I had, which was a decent amount, was so bad and unbelievably bad. And they're nerfing it even more. So the more they're making skill power have even less of an impact on the damage resistance, meaning you're going to need more. So I'm assuming that's what that means. Weapon stability and weapon accuracy buffs by 20%, from 150 to 120%. Wait, decreased weapon stability. So I read that wrong. So they decreased the weapon stability and accuracy buffs. So So that's kind of a bummer. So Smart Cover, which got so unbelievably nerfed, is now getting nerfed even more. Not quite sure why. That's kind of strange. Don't really necessarily understand why, but maybe okay. Tactical Link. That is your signature skill. They increase the bonus damage by 16.7% from 30% to 35%. And they increase the duration by 8.3% from 12 seconds to 13 seconds, which is crazy because this here I felt was extremely powerful already. How it was extremely powerful, way more powerful than like what they're nerfing on Smart Cover, but sure. Survivor Link, increased duration by also 8.3%, giving it 13 seconds instead of 12 seconds. PC only, they added a radial menu for emotes and a UI rendering setting that will reduce game latency at the cost of frame rate. A ton of bug fixes. I'm not going to read through all the bug fixes. There's a lot of them. But if you guys are interested in bug fixes, there's a bunch of them. And there's probably going to be a bunch more of them, I'd assume. And overall, I think there's a lot of cool changes. They're still nerfing a lot of things that I don't think need to be nerfed. And making cooldowns even longer, which I don't think they need to do. But their game, they can do what they want, and we're just going to have to live with it. Maybe it'll work out better in the long run, maybe not, who knows. But so far, I'm really liking the update, and I'm really liking Survival. So I might see you guys in the Dark Zone or in the Survival Zone or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be playing this all week until we get interrupted by the new Watch Dogs release next week. That should be on, I think, Tuesday. So looking forward to playing the new Watch Dogs as well. But let me know what you guys think about this new update, what you think about Survival, if you've played it, if you're looking forward to playing it. Unfortunately, if you're on console, you're going to have to either just watch or buy the game on PC, which it's a lot better on PC. But other than that, let me know what you guys think of all these changes. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel or check us out live on Twitch TV/StreamerHouse. Thank you guys so much.